She sells seashells by the seashore.
Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cup Check. I'm here with co-host Zach Crutchfield, and today we're going to be doing the highly anticipated MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, just the MLB awards projection. And we'll also be ending off the video with our fantasy MVP projection, which is quite different than the actual awards, just someone who provides the most fantasy greatness for 2022. So Zach, kick us off here with your AL MVP projection. Who you got?
I got Byron Buxton. This is a guy that he was born to do it, man. He's just got to stay healthy. I'm predicting a finally healthy season, and I think Buxton's going to take home the AL MVP.
Yeah, Buxton going absolute ham Sam in spring training. If he can just put together a healthy season, Buxton's really a great pick to just break out and win MVP. He's going to have the defensive numbers and speed to support the claim of MVP. And he's also.
Yeah, I really think he can do it, man. The WAR defense inflates WAR so much, and Twins lineup is good. He's got Correa now. He's surrounded by good hitters. I like Buxton.
I love the Buxton pick. For my AL MVP, I went a much safer route, but at the same time, maybe not safe because who is Mike Trout these days? Is he washed? Is he hurt? Is he the GOAT? I'm really hoping that Trout is healthy. Another guy. We're saying Buxton if he's healthy, and we're also going to be saying Trout if he's healthy. Two guys that could break out and do it. I really hope that Trout can do it just because I think grabbing another MVP would really cement his legacy as the greatest of all time and just kind of propel him to having a healthy 30s would be great. I got Trout winning MVP. Obviously, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. He's going to have to be healthy. And at the same time, neither of us going Ohtani, but if Ohtani pitches and hits at an elite level, it might be scary just the fact that Ohtani could win MVP every single year. But yeah, not going the safe route here on Cup Check, going two very injury-prone guys who have what it takes to be MVP. Zach, who do you have as your NL MVP?
NL, this is probably my safest pick. I have Juan Soto. I think he's just going to have such a sneaky year where there might be some guys ahead of him, but I see Soto as a guy just staying healthy and just producing game after game. And then by the end of the season, you look at his numbers and he's got a 430 on base or something crazy like that with 30-something home runs. And the writers just have no choice but to give it to Juan Soto. Who do you have?
Yeah, I agree completely. The only thing that's going to kind of hurt him is the fact that Washington probably won't be a playoff team. And I feel like they do usually love to give the MVP to that guy who's like propelling his team to the playoffs. I also have Soto as my MVP pick for the NL, but I'll go ahead and say Freddie Freeman as like a dark horse, just because I think that his stat accumulation that he's going to be able to provide in that Dodgers lineup will definitely. I could see Freddie Freeman at least finishing top 3, top 4. So yeah, I got Soto, but I wouldn't be shocked if Freeman just compiles like ridiculous stats and wins.
So who's your pick?
I got Soto, but I just wanted to touch on someone else because you just did Soto. So moving on, AL Cy Young, who you got, Zach?
I have Garrett Cole, also kind of a boring pick, but he's just so far ahead of everyone. At least like Fantrax. I know we're not talking about fantasy, we're talking about real life right now, but at least Fantrax rankings for AL pitchers. Garrett Cole is up really high. Next guy, they have Giolito all the way in the 50s in overall rankings. I think Garrett Cole is just way over the competition right now, and it's really different than NL where there's a lot of really strong pitching. Give me Garrett Cole.
Yeah, I agree. Garrett Cole is by far the safest pick for Cy Young in the AL. I'm going with a little bit of a dark horse. I got Justin Verlander. I think that we're seeing guys like Scherzer who are old and can still do it. And I have no reason to believe that Verlander is not going to be able to just come out and do Verlander-like things. He's tearing up spring training. The velo's back, and I just think the off speed plays. So I wouldn't be shocked if Verlander gets some Cy Young looks. He's gonna really help propel that Astros team to the playoffs, a team that will probably make the playoffs, probably one of the safest picks for the playoffs, and a guy who's going to have to carry that pitching staff for the most part and just be the ace of that team. So I think Verlander has a decent outside shot at winning Cy Young, so I'm taking Verlander. Zach, who you got for NL Cy Young?
Yeah, I like the Verlander pick. I'm going a comparable guy to Verlander is Max Scherzer. That's my NL pick. I really thought about going Walker Bueller because I know he's got to win one eventually, but Scherzer's just a type of guy like Verlander that gets better with age. He was so good when he got traded to the Dodgers at the deadline, and now that DeGrom's out, he's going to put that Mets team on his back. So
I like it. The only reason I shied away from Scherzer is just the injury bug seems to have hit the Mets with some injury rumors about Scherzer and then the injuries of DeGrom as well. All right, coming in with my NL Cy Young, I have Walker Bueller, like Zach said, a guy who is destined to win one eventually. And just with that insane offense behind him, these old voters just love the win category. They still do. I expect Walker Bueller to really pile on the wins and all the counting stats in terms of strikeouts, quality starts, etc. I think it's just finally the year of Walker Bueller, especially with the injuries that are hitting the Mets between DeGrom and Scherzer. I think Walker Bueller is finally going to just take that step into starting to solidify his Hall of Fame legacy, maybe raising his Hall of Fame stock.
wow.
All right, moving on to the Rookie of the Year projections. Zach, where do you want to start us off here?
Let me start us in the National League. Nick Lodolo. He is a very solid starting pitcher. A lot of the eyes right now on the Reds are on Hunter Green, but I see Lodolo as a guy that's going to be a little bit more under the radar. He might not have that like 100-mile-per-hour fastball like Hunter Green does, but Lodolo's going to most likely slot in at the 5 spot in the rotation. And if he has a few good starts in April and solidifies himself in the rotation, I think he's just going to coast to a really solid season, an ERA hopefully in the threes, and maybe end up with that Rookie of the Year award. He's got a nasty slider. We've touched on it in earlier Cup Check eps. And yeah, I think he's going to come in being a really mature pitcher and already be looking like a seasoned vet.
Now, when do you expect to see Lodolo? Because I don't believe that he is making the opening day roster, but I could be mistaken. I don't really follow the Reds too closely.
He's had a good spring training. So Luis Castillo's injured. So I think that opens up the slot for him to sneak in. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, they have Mally, San Martin,
Forget Goots.
Vladimir Gutierrez at the 3 slot, Hunter Green at 4, Lodolo at 5. If I'm not mistaken, that's the starting 5. So
you do think Lodolo breaks camp and they just haven't announced it yet?
I think so. That's my pick.
Alrighty. My pick for NL Rookie of the Year, I'm going with Bryson Stott. Stott, a guy who I don't really know a whole lot about. I just know that the NL Rookie of the Year is much weaker than the AL. And when I look at Stott, I see a guy who is probably going to provide like pretty solid defensive numbers. And not to mention, he's hitting 444 in spring training across just about 30 at bats with a bomb. I think Phillies are locked to have some kind of award somewhere because I think this is the year that they finally propel themselves to the playoffs. And I think that breaking into the playoffs is going to bring eyes. And I think those eyes are going to see a rookie in Bryson Stott who really stepped up and helped lead the team at the most difficult position other than catcher, I believe, in the league.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad to see Alec Bohm might get the boot, but do hasn't been
Stott is a
performing.
shortstop. Stott is a shortstop, so he would be actually booting Didi Gregorius.
Dude, I'm such a capper. I didn't know that. I thought he was third base.
Or Gene Segura. I think Segura is playing second for them, though. I could be mistaken. But yeah,
Okay.
Didi really struggled last year, so the door's wide open for Stott to just take over. And he really is talented. He's 6'3". So I mean, I gotta believe the power is gonna come eventually for Stott. And I do expect him to break camp. I really do.
Alrighty. Okay, my AL rookie of the year. This was the easiest pick for me. My guy Julio Rodriguez. Just announced he'd be breaking camp today, opening day roster. Um, I'm hoping he's a stud, and it's gonna be so fun to watch. A good little mix of power and the ability to steal some bags. Hopefully, making some flashy plays in the outfield too. I love Julio. Who do you have as the AL rookie of the year?
Yeah, Zach really does love Julio. I actually threw the kitchen sink at him trying to trade for Julio as soon as the news was released, but Zach did not even flinch. I had a feeling, the AL MVP, now AL Rookie of the Year is so stacked this year between Witt, between Julio, between Torque, Green. There's so many guys who could really just burst onto the scene and win. But I got to go with my guy, Bobby Witt Jr. Zach's been the leader of the Julio camp. I've been the leader of the Bobby Witt camp. Both of these guys could just break out and win it. I think what really helps Julio's odds is that he's going to be on that team competing for the playoffs. And especially if Julio is that like backbone that drives them to the playoffs for the first time in forever, I think that could give Julio the edge. But I'm expecting Bobby Witt to low key compete for MVP out of the gates and just go absolute ham Sam. So I'm sticking with my guy, Bobby Witt, a guy who I think is going to be the next face of baseball in a few years.
Wow. All right, moving on to what this cup check is built on, fantasy baseball. Fantasy MVP, a very different conversation than the MLB MVP.
Just giving some premise on fantasy MVP. This isn't just PR because I think PR is pretty inflated. This is just who's going to have the biggest fantasy impact, who's going to be that guy that's just carrying teams week in and week out and projecting and just bringing championships home. Honestly, like who is going to be the MVP of this year's fantasy? Zach, who you got?
I got Trey Turner. I think he was last year, but just being in the Dodgers lineup is going to inflate all of his counting stats. He's a guy that gets stolen bases, hits home runs. He's really everything you want in a fantasy player. 5 category contributor, and still in the prime of his career. I don't think he'll slow down. Trey Turner, he's a stud. I know a lot of sites are saying he's the number 1 pick this year, so it's not too much of a surprise, but I see him doing it again.
Yeah, I agree. I love me some Trey Turner. I made sure to go out and trade for him last year because I was anticipating a trade and really believed that I just believe in Trey Turner. He just provides the average, the stolen bases, everything you look for in a fantasy player. Not to mention that he's just going to be compiling runs like no other. I wouldn't be shocked. Hot take. I don't know what the runs record is for the MLB, but what if Turner breaks the run record this year? Could it happen? I don't know. For my fantasy MVP, I have Luis Robert, whatever you want to
Tomato,
call him.
tomato.
Yeah, tomato. Robert's ADP is going in the 70 range right now, according to ESPN's live draft trends. Absolute steal. They're sleeping on the fact that this man really solved his K rate last year. Not to mention he was on a 9 WAR pace because he also provides that elite defense. And the Sox, just a team that's going to be really exciting, and also in that playoff chase. And I think Robert is going to be the backbone of that team. And I wouldn't be shocked if he has his ascension to Acuna level esque play this year. So that's why I have Luis Robert as my fantasy MVP. I also wouldn't be shocked if Buxton could kind of make a run at that title as well. But that's going to do it for our award projections. I look forward to this video every year. And thank you all for watching. Zach, any closing statements?
Yeah, just to answer your question, a little cup check trivia here. All-time runs record in a single season is 198 runs in 1894. So I
Yeah,
think Billy Hamilton The first Billy Hamilton. I think he's got that one in the bag.
Yeah, had no idea Trey Turner would have to be pushing 200. But wouldn't be shocked if he sets like the modern record for runs. I don't know what that is. But hey, Trey Turner, going to get those runs this year. Thank you all for watching. That's going to do it for today's episode. Peace.